Hey everybody, hope you're all doing good today. Just time for another little YouTube video. I'm on my way down to Table Rock right now. I have an instructional flipping trip. I've been with the water high this summer, Stockton, Table Rock, all that type of stuff. I've been sort of modifying these instructional trips I do into flipping now, you know, from the jerkbait fishing earlier in the year. And now's a great time to learn to flip if you don't know how to flip well, or if you're wanting to learn a little bit more. So I'm going to go down there. We're going to be flipping a bunch of willows today. But hey, today's tip I wanted to give you on the way down there today that's going to help you out, you know, anytime that you're flipping is really understanding a little bit about weight. Because in flipping, there's a lot of different variables to it. You have your line size, you have your weight size, you have your hook size, you have, you know, different bait profiles, you got soft plastics, you got jigs, you got just a lot of different stuff that actually determines how you need to set up your flipping setup. And you know, we'll go into that later on in different videos, but today I just sort of want to give you a quick tip on how to choose the correct weight, you know, for your flipping. Now, this can be applied to soft plastics or jigs, either one, it doesn't matter. But the rule of thumb that I have found that works pretty good, and it seems like it holds true most all the time, because there's some techniques you have exceptions to the rule, but when you're talking about flipping weights, I found out that it's pretty true, is for me, the dirtier the water is and the colder the water is, obviously the slower falls you want. Sometimes the dirtier the water, even if the water temperature is warm, they like a slow fall. And the clearer the water and the deeper the water, the quicker fall that they want. And there's like variations in between that. But for example, like today, I'll give you one example. Down here at Table Rock Lake, water's pretty clear. Depending upon what part of the lake you're in, you're going to have anywhere between like 4 to 10 foot visibility. And under those conditions, when you're talking about 4 to 10 foot water clarity, and in this particular situation, you're going to have, you know, 5 to 8 foot of water in the bushes, which is pretty deep. You really need to stick with a heavy weight, because not only when you have water temperatures that are close to 90 degrees, the fish really need to, they react a lot better to a fast fall. But when you're fishing lots of cover that's deep and clear, you need to cover a lot of water. It's not like you need to pitch that bait in there and let it set a long time. So in today's situation, you know, we're going to be using, you know, probably smaller profile baits, you know, like a speed crawl with a 1/2 ounce weight, something like that, maybe even 3/4, something that'll get down there, get to the bottom in a hurry. And you know, these fish in a situation like that, even though it's a fast fall, it's falling down through branches and limbs, so it's not like it's falling clean straight to the bottom. So the fall is delayed a little bit, even though that you got a heavy weight on there. But you'll get a lot more reaction strikes under those situations. Everything else is dependent, because a lot of it, when you're flipping, it depends if you're flipping up over objects or if you're flipping clean structure, like you know, pitching around a stump or pitching around a boat dock piling, or something like that. You know, when your bait isn't going over a particular object, you know, your fall rate's gonna be very little bit. But I'm a big believer in using a lot of different type of weights when I'm flipping. I see a lot of guys out there that they, when they think about going light or going heavy, most people, I think they fish a little bit too heavy flipping baits, because most people think that, you know, if they downsize, they're downsizing to a 3/8, and that's, to me, a 3/8 is a pretty heavy weight. I use weights all the way down to a 1/16 of an ounce to flip. 1/8 ounce, I use an 1/8 ounce a lot. I use 3/16 a lot. You know, if I'm fishing that water visibility that's like 12 to 15 inches, you know, I find that a lot of times that slow fall will generate more bites and bigger bites too. A little bit more difficult to flip. Maybe that's why people don't like to flip the lighter weights. You know, it's easier to pitch a 3/8 or 1/2 ounce weight in there. But there's a lot of different things that will cause the bass to bite, and weight's one of them. But anyway, like I said, just remember, I guess the overview, what I'm talking about is keep an open mind when you're talking about choosing your weight size, and don't get locked in like to that quarter ounce to half ounce zone that a lot of people get into. It's like most people, they have a go-to weight that they flip all the time, and sometimes that's going to keep you from getting bites. Just experiment a little bit. You never really know what that best rate is going to be, until the fish will actually tell you based upon their mood. But overall, that's the advice I'd like to give you to start with. The dirtier, the cooler the water is, go lighter with your weights, and the clearer, the deeper, the warmer the water is, go with your heavier weights. So anyway, that's today's tip. Hope y'all are doing good. Keep the comments coming in. Most of these YouTube videos I'm doing are based upon the comments that I get as far as what people are wanting to hear about. And I love to talk fishing, so I'd love to share my thoughts on comments that I get on there with everybody else, because I think a lot of people may have the same questions on that, and we all learn from it. I mean, I learn stuff every single day about bass fishing. If I catch them or don't catch them, or even taking people out fishing, they may try something I hadn't even thought about. So it's a never-ending learning process for all of us. Anyway, like I said, that's today's tip. Hope you're all doing good, and we'll check in next time. See you.